Hi, I'm Victor Costa. How you doing? Hope you're doing well. As you guys know, I like to share with you bodybuilding ideas from a philosophical standpoint. I wanted to connect today and share with you a couple of concepts and ideas. Oftentimes the ideas come from conversations and interactions with all of you. And often they come from Skype sessions that I have with people, or they come from personal training sessions where I'm training people one-on-one. So I wanted to just talk to you today about a conversation that I had with someone very recently on the phone, and we talked a little bit about his specific bodybuilding injuries. This gentleman was in the armed forces. Hello, sir. Thank you for your service. And he spent a lot of time in Afghanistan. When he came back, he was training and bodybuilding at the same level of intensity that he was operating with when he was in Afghanistan. And he and I had a long conversation about this, the way he approached his workouts and his exercises. This guy only had one speed, and that was full throttle. And we were talking about an injury that he had, and it was really interesting because the injury that he had didn't come from his being overzealous when he was training or because of his intensity. It came because at one time in the gym he wasn't present. He actually had to go pick up his daughter from an event, and at the same time he knew he was late, and at the same time he's training. So he he's training with one eye on the clock, and in the middle of a set he just decides to turn his head, and he turned his head and he injured himself while holding the weights. Now this guy, like I said, was in the armed forces. He was in Afghanistan. He was fine physically. Nothing happened to him there. He comes back home and he's training in a gym, a secure environment, and just really holding the weights is distracted because he has something else to do. He has to be some other place at the same time, and that's when the injury occurred. And that's what I wanted to talk to you a little bit about. It's that level of presence and awareness. It's very challenging to be in two places at the same time. And this sometimes accounts for injuries, but it also accounts for sometimes a lack of progress because your mind isn't always engaged in the physical activity that you're doing. I'd like to give you another example. So a young man recognized me from YouTube videos, and he saw me in the gym, and he came up to me and he said, "Hey Vic, would you mind sharing some ideas with me?" And I said, "Absolutely, let's talk." And so I showed him a couple of ideas, and he said, "Let's do arms together." And I said, "Okay, great." I said, "What do you normally use?" Now this kid was big. I mean, he was about 6 feet, 6'1". I would say between 210 and 220. And I said, "What do you normally do for arms?" He said, "I'm going to go do 3 exercises, 5 sets each." So if you count 10 reps per set, we're talking about 150 reps. And I said to him, "Well, I'm going to do 20 repetitions. Maybe you can train with me." So he said, "Wow, you're only going to do 20? And I said, "Yeah, let's do 20 together." So his sense was, since we're only going to do 20 repetitions and not 150, we may as well grab something heavy, right? And I said, "Well, look, you're not only not going to be able to do the weight that you normally use, you're not going to even be able to do a lighter weight for the 20 repetitions. So he can't believe it, but we go ahead and we get into this exercise. I give him a 70-pound barbell. He's accustomed to handling 100 and 110. And I said, "I don't think you're going to be able to get the 10 reps with that." And he said, "How can that possibly be?" Sure enough, he was only able to get 9 reps. He couldn't believe it. And he put the weights down, and he was a little bit frustrated, and he said, "What kind of voodoo stuff did you pull on me? What kind of mind trick did you pull on me? What kind of Jedi mind trick did you pull?" And I said, "I didn't pull anything." I said, "Let me do my 10 repetitions, and then you'll do 10 more. So this guy outweighs me by 30 pounds or 40 pounds. And he goes to do his second set, and now he can only do 7 repetitions. His arms are exploding. He can't figure out what happened. He's kind of frustrated, and he's upset with me to a degree, and he's kind of in a state of disbelief. And he said, "Vic, what did you do to me?" And I said, "The question isn't what I did to you. The question is, what were you doing before? If you're only able to do 17 repetitions with me in my presence, and you're able to do 150 reps without me, the question isn't what you're doing now. The question is, where have you been? What are you doing? What are you doing when I'm not here? And what were you doing before? So that is bringing presence and awareness into the body. That's the only thing that I did for him. Sure, he wanted to impress me. Sure, he wanted to do the Vic style of training. Sure, he may have gone a little bit slower and a little stricter, but you know what? He could actually wrap his head around 20 repetitions, and he couldn't wrap his head around the 150 repetitions. The 150 repetitions, he would always perform as if he had another rep left in the barrel, so to speak, another one to do. So this one didn't matter so much, right? There's 149 left. And the second one didn't matter so much because there's 148 left. He was hedging the entire time. He wasn't invested and he wasn't all in. The only thing that I did was I brought a level of awareness and presence back into his body, and I made that exercise valuable to him. So the question isn't what I did to him, it's what was he doing before? And that's something for us to ponder. And it happens to me often when I learn a new skill or I learn a new technique from someone and suddenly it all makes sense. You wonder how you were wasting time beforehand. So these are two stories about awareness. These are two stories about presence. These are two stories about bringing the mind and the body together in really a sacred space. So when you go to the gym, I don't know who you let invade your space, whether it's thoughts of your boss or thoughts of your family or whatever, but that's kind of a sacred space for you to enjoy in a very organic way and to make discoveries. And when you're allowing that to happen, everything matters. I think I had mentioned this before, but if I look at somebody in the gym and I can see their energy, I can see where it's going, I can see if it's scattering all about, or I can see if it's coming into the body. You can go through the same exact motions. Two guys can do the exact same workout at the same time, and it looks the same on the outside, but one is going to have exceedingly different results. It's the person who has that level of presence and awareness and a reason for training as compared to someone who's going through the repetitions mindlessly. Here's the phone. It's time to end the video. I wish you guys all the best. Peace, love, and muscles. Visit me at Vic's Natural. Say hello on Facebook. And if you'd like to take a Skype session with me, reach out to me. You can reach out to me at my email or on the website. All the best. Take care. Bye.
Call from